Hello, everybody. How are you doing? My name is Piercing DN. I'm here with Freddie here today with the ESA Cup Season 7 Group B Week 2. We have two teams here today, Evo 5 and Aspire by EOS. Freddie, how are you doing today? You ready for today's match? We got actually two
Well,
more matches at this as well.
I'm kind of excited because we have some good games coming up with some very known players. I'm very excited. Finally to cast again too. It's been a long time after playing so many matches. It's finally time to back to casting.
Oh, absolutely. It's always good to get a break whenever you can. I know I've had my break 4 months and I'm just now coming back. But goodness knows I needed that break. But with that in mind, let's actually get talk a little bit about our rosters and compositions for today. Starting off with Evo 5, we have our players. Not sure who's going to be playing today, but we have Sweden, Tumor, Shady, Curved, Sinan, Hartman, Dale, Seth, and Vexa. And for Aspire by EOS, we have Casper, Carol, Black Future, Pro Gaming, Hookah, Keys, Aspire, Lucky, Caesar, and Slowly. Sorry if I mispronounce those names. I'm always a little bit infamous for that. And then for the standings, looks like Evo 5 Sport is at a 0-7 score difference, and Aspire by EOS is at 7-5. And for the map, we are going to be playing on Chalet with Evo 5 starting on the defense. Tell us what you think we're going to see for this map for today, Freddie.
Well, hopefully a close game. Hopefully we will see some good siege. Chalet is not a standard map, something I would say something unusual because in my recent ESA games I haven't casted Chalet once, so I'm kind of excited to
Really?
get away from the Oregon clubhouse and bank stuff and finally go to a real map to Chalet, signing something different. That's what I like. Um, Coming to the teams, we have Evo 5, bit of unknown, not have not been around for that long, and we have Aspar who have been really good recently. Some really strong results against good teams, for example, against Minions also, which were the last season's winner. So I'm kind of excited what they show today.
Yeah. And before we start, I do want to kind of apologize for some of the missing visuals we have today. We're having some technical difficulties with OPL. Just wanted to put that out there. But with that in mind, both of the teams are ready to go. So we are going to get that match started shortly. So be ready for that. But I do want to point something out about Chalet. I guess this is a difference from console, but on PC, we actually see Chalet quite a lot. So it's no stranger to me, but still going to be an interesting map because when gunfighting is a bit different between console and PC, you're bound to see some map play differences come from that as a result. Starting it off with the first ban is going to be EO5 Esports. Their first ban on the attack going to be Jackal. Not so much seen in the competitive sphere as in ranked, but still a good ban nevertheless if you want to have a heavy roam presence.
Well, that's true. Jekyll in competitive, not that much banned, and in ranked you see it quite often, but something new to comp. And also Yingban, which I have to mention, in the last couple of weeks and months, actually Ying has been banned the most as an attacker, which is quite surprising for me.
Yeah, with a lot of the way that teams are playing nowadays, it really comes down to having those crippling executions where you can't see, you can't hear, and sometimes depending on what kind of composition the team likes to bring, you can't shoot back. But we are going to see a hindrance to those executions as we'll see Soulless taken off the board as well. And finally, Fenrir, which is a new operator to me, but so that's a little disappointing to see him, I think, off the board. So none of that for today's match, at least the first match. Starting off in Office and Master, we're going to see a Vigil, which I can tell you as a PC player, you don't see that much anymore. I mean, it's that Shaiko Peak gives you all the information you need, am I right?
Well, it certainly does. Vigil, not a well-known operator on console either, so I'm kind of surprised at that too, especially on Chalet. Obviously, Master Office Defense, also very unusual because it's the least picked side. But Evo 5 decides to get it first. Let's see how they're gonna build up this whole defense here.
Yeah, so far going with a default composition, possibly some bandit tricking here as Sweden will be propping up that main wall by the double window. We're going to see a castle as well placed over by the outside windows, try to hold off that that outside push, which makes sense considering the composition bans. They are trying, seems like both teams are trying to push off that rush-like push with crippling utility such as Ying. And with the composition that Aspire is bringing forward with only having a gridlock, which is mostly used for flank watch and noise suppression with the smokes, but actually she does have nades with her. Seems like we're going to see a bit of a slower take here from what we have at the moment. Vexa and Hookah are going to be an interesting interaction considering how their utility can spot each other. Well, not so much IQ with Pulse or with Vigil, I'm sorry, but we will see Vexa get spotted, going to rotate back down to the basement. Hookah looking for those lurkers there, not going to spot anyone, now having that first floor control there. Future now pushing down a basement, going to try to take Vigil. We're going to see if we have our first pick for our match as they make the way up. Vexa moving back up to West Main Stairs. Is Future going to catch him? There's the first pick. 2 picks from Shevler. Going to be able to take Sweden out, but Tumor going to get a refrag onto Shivers. Now down 3v4, and we're only at the first minute of the round with the early roam not really paying off here as it's now down to 1 lurker and 2 anchors, Lima and Tumor here, as we still have Antar. Sorry if I say name wrong, off on the lurk, which is going to pay off here, taking Hookah down, still lurking below to deal some damage. Nitro going to go out from Tumor, not going to connect as Casper is still a bit far away for that to work out. I'm going to finally see that wall getting opened up now that Bandit is down and all the electrical is cleared out. 1 minute 23 seconds. We're going to be seeing a mezzanine execute. Some gridlocks going down. It's going to help to cut off Antar if that plays into their favor, but he's already back onto site along with Lima and Tumor. All back on site with the Nitro gone. They're not going to be able to use that for denial, which could be a bit of a problem here. All right, and here comes the push from Carol, trying to take that pick initially to get into the building onto Lima. Still holding him back, pushes out to peek the window, but that's going to be Tumor down as Casper is able to catch him from the window. Now up to a 2v2 here as Antar now getting a double pick here, and they still haven't got onto the site quite yet. With 40 seconds left on the board, they're going to have to make a move to get in, but they're starting to run out of utility. Only having both Claymores to hop in for Carol coming in. Going to take a bit of chip damage, heavy damage onto Lima. Now executing the plant. We get one caught off by the rotate. That's going to be Tasper taking Antar out. Now down to a 1v2, trying to deny the plant, but it's going to be too late. The plant now goes down. Lima trying to get aggressive here to see if he can catch Ace here, but it's going to get caught himself by Casper from the mezzanine, finishing the first round in favor of Aspire. Pretty default execute is what we're going to see here. Despite the utility investment to try to hold off the mezzanine, Aspire still managing to be able to push through and force their way in, despite some worrying trades from the lurkers and roamers, even though initially when it favor Aspire, Antar being able to turn that around with a few picks of his own. However, it just was not enough to stop the unrelenting force of Aspire to gain that last second control and get that plan by the infamous half wall. That's why it's so important to hold the Nitro whenever you can, because that is a great way to stop that plant, catch someone rotating, possibly play off your teammate to catch that pick off the rotate, and deny that plant just long enough, or even outright take a pick to put the attackers in a tense situation. But unfortunately, that was not possible as the Nitro was taken out previously, trying to deny that move from Aspire, taking over mezzanine and getting that wall open. Not a bad play, but it just limits your options there. Now we're going to be moving on to basement here. We're still going to see a similar composition with Sweden on the Bandit. We will have Vexa on the Azami here, Hookah on Sledge, and Carol on the Thermite. We're even going to see Brava, if I'm pronouncing, or no, I'm sorry, that's not Brava. Still learning the new compositions, folks. I apologize. We're going to see Shivers on Ram here, which I haven't actually seen how Ram plays, so that'll be a first for me and maybe some of you here, for those who haven't gotten to see much action from this new operator. Going to be taking over Library, and they will get quick control of that, even shutting down Vexa, who is over there lurking. That's going to be an early pick, and a lot of keep-up barriers lost. Antar trying to get some aggression on. Sweden taking a bit of chip damage here. That second floor control is coming in fast and hot. And right now, AO5, or I'm sorry, Evo 5, just not being able to repel that and losing one in the process. Again, those early picks coming out in a favor of Aspire. That's what Aspire's been able to do well so far. One Nitro down from Sweden, but only going to deal some damage. No picks or downs in this case, but with that vertical established, it's going to be hard to hold on to that trick. But with how Aspire is positioned right now, it doesn't really seem like they're going for that. Rather more of a top-down approach. Ram now doing the works to get that vertical going, but Antar with the lurk once again going to be able to take Casper out. That's going to be a little bit of flank watch down. You see a nade being prepped and is going to be able to pick up Fuse right as he tries to rotate out. Going to take another fight with Sledge, but not going to be able to handle it. Who can now have the stance control. Lima getting the refrag as he tries to back out here. Now with a 3v2. Wall is now ready to be opened up. Another Nitro going down. Not going to see the impact. Here comes the Thermite. Now opened up. 1 minute and 10 seconds. It is a 2v3, but they do have stairs control. They have the ability to push up here. 2 smokes and 3 flashbangs. He has plenty of utility to execute, which they're going to be putting it to full effect as the smoke now goes down. Carol now walking up to get ready to plant here. There goes the plant. Going to see some shots taking some light damage onto Thermite. Going to back off. The swing from Shivers going to take 2 picks onto Lima and Antar. Now down to a 1v1. Silver takes the last one. Pushes the breach, but Shivers takes him out as his back is completely in the wrong directions. Nice try, Tumor, but Shivers was a bit on the aggression there, catching him off guard, and that's going to be another round for Aspire there. The unrelenting aggression, putting so much work in for them. So what did you think of that, Freddie?
Well, you just took it away, everything. Well, nice play from Shivers. Really nice aim, crisp aim onto that 2 kills, on that last 2 kills there. Nicely played, but you know, we saw the aggression from Evo 5. Very aggressive, the Jaeger on the roam, but also the Bandit pushing up the lobby stairs. And finding those frags, Esper not expecting this much aggression, but Shivers tries, well, pays back and gets aggressive himself and gets to 3k and, you know, gets every kill.
Yeah, that smoke kind of created a complicated situation for EOS 5 there, but despite that, or Evo 5, I keep messing that up, I am so sorry, but despite that smoke and that execute, they were still able to hold him off long enough to back Carol off, but it just was not enough as Shivers was really able to put full impact there, getting everything open and ready to go, as well as taking so many favorable fights at just the right time. We saw 2 swing outs against Shivers, all unsuccessful. And that was really what turned that round, well, around.
Yeah, it was the smoke, of course, which, you know, nearly got kind of a disadvantage because the Thermite nearly got killed through the smoke. Fortunately for him, he did just go up to 1 HP. And that allows Shivers to get the 3 kills.
Nice shot, Antar. That's Tumor off the board, trying to shoot a drone, but shot his teammate. I mean, hey, it happens. You know, sometimes we get a little bit too instinctual there, but Shivers, knowing that TK just happened, knows there's somebody above with the red ping, going to be spotting Antar here, stuck in a corner, but Shivers is on his case. We're going to see a possible pick here, or will Antar be able to forgive that TK and even the numbers back out? Wasn't expecting for an entry bit to be a TK, but hey, I guess that's just the way things come out sometimes. Possibly doesn't have the outline on. There comes a Fuse Pucks trying to get that utility and displace those defenders as much as they can. That's what I love about Fuse, is the ability to place that utility down and just hold it until just the right moment when you're already in position holding the angle to cut somebody off. But we're not going to see that here. Antar still trying to hold on to that lurk all the way in 3rd floor, or 2nd floor. But right now, it's just pretty much being ignored as the rest of the team is more focused on setting up and trying to get the execute. Wall is going to be open wide up thanks to Carol's Thermite charge there. And now it's looking like they're getting close to ready for an execute. And with plenty of utility on the board, we might need to see Antar get a bit aggressive here in order to stave off this push. However, we will see Sweden go down. We're going to see the swing here from Shivers, taking a lot of damage here. There comes the flash. Going to try to rotate down west stairs, but gets cut off by Shivers. Lima going to be able to take Casper as well. Now down to a 2v4 with a nade, 2 smokes, and 2 flashes. Plenty of utility on the board for Aspire. However, we still have Evo 5. Lima going to be able to take a double pick here, but get cut off on the blue stairs thanks to Shivers and her unrelenting ability to push up with another pick. All headshots onto Vexa to finish out the round before the plant even goes down. Aspire is on a winning streak so far.
Yeah, what a dominant fashion this has been. Of course, the team kill helps Aspar in the beginning, but once again, it's Shivers finding 3 frags, 3 important frags at the end. Nicely played. I mean, you mentioned it going. I mean, we haven't seen any bar or kitchen defenses yet, so I'm kind of surprised that they go back to office again. Because those are regularly the 2 sides that you don't want to play, in competitive at least. So I don't know what's Evo 5's plan here is.
I agree. That's really something you don't see as much anymore on Chalet. Back before the rework, yeah, you absolutely would want to play those sites, and first floor was just an absolute nightmare to hold, but now that's not so much the case anymore. In fact, a lot of teams, like you said, will instead opt to play first floor and avoid second floor and basement at all costs, but they're right now Evo 5's doing the exact opposite, playing onto those sites as much as they can, which if that's the main site you're familiar with, that's understandable. But so far what we've seen has been default setups and not much when it comes to holding onto library. As we've seen in the last round, they took library quite quickly over into basement, and we had to look over by office side, but that unfortunately didn't pay off as Antar was eventually cleared out by Shivers. So it's really hard to say what Evo 5, or I'm going to get this wrong every time, Evo 5's game plan is, but whatever it is, unfortunately not paying off at the moment as Aspire is on a 3-round streak with these well set up executes and well done roam clears. I mean, even if Antar gets his impact, is inevitably shut down, leading all the anchors kind of to fend for themselves, which is what makes basement so gruesome to play around. But we're not on basement, are we? We're on second floor, and we have 2 nitros on the board to deny that plant. We could be seeing a possible retake, trying to go for a default, let Aspire just kind of do what they want, and then from there, come up when they're trying to get their execute down and do as much damage as possible before and after. Here comes Antar with his lurk. Gonna take 2 picks, possibly 3 picks, but Shivers shot him down. As usual, gonna be able to get another pick onto Tumor as well, and that is gonna be a nitro from Tumor down as well as Antar. We still got Sween on the board with that potential for plant denial, as well as Vexa with an impact if Shivers were to plant with low HP. But that's gonna be Carol with the diffuser at the moment, still holding over by these are the blue stairs. I forget what the area is called. I'm sorry. Solarium stairs, still holding on to dear life. And as so long as she's still there, there's not going to be any plan happening anytime soon. But Casper patiently waiting by the window, waiting for Sweeting to make a move. And there's the move, and he gets caught by Casper. And that's going to allow all the opportunity for Carol to repel in. There she comes with Vexa still holding over by Piano with Lima. There might be hope here as Vexa's going to be able to take Casper out. Looking for another here as we see one slowly moving up blue stairs, and that's going to be Shivers, who is lit. Now going down. However, Carol running straight in to take one out. It is now down to a 1v1 unless Carol can get this revive back onto Shivers. But Vexa moving up, knowing that they're going for that revive. Going to try to take the aggression to them as the revive goes back up. But with not that much utility to really throw over to hurt them, we will see that gunfight. But Carol's going to be able to take Vexa out before getting onto site. That aggression coming a little bit too late after the revive.
Well, you talked about it, the Romas having no real impact here. This time they did get 2 kills, and they did get quite important operators there downstairs. But then the 3v3 couldn't, well, Evo 5, the anchors couldn't get it done. I mean, it was their best shot at a round so far in this game.
Yeah, they really did their job as far as the roaming. It was just unfortunate how they lost that Solarium control, because once Carol Hibana was able to repel in, that just created a huge pressure point for both Lima and Vexa that they just were not able to handle, and allowed them to pretty much clear in as they needed and really put Vex on a bad spot, especially after Lima went down and out. So that kind of just set the stage for Aspire to get yet another round. 2 rounds until the half, but Right now, Aspire is currently at a major advantage, and we are still not seeing any first floor play, despite not having lost both of those sites, I believe, twice now.
Yep.
Really wondering if they're going to adapt to a first floor, if they don't really have anything planned for those sites, because right now, with what we've seen, just basement and second floor, it's not paying off at all. And Aspire, noticing the defaults, noticing the lack of first floor play, is punishing this heavily. And the compositions aren't changing the most from Evo 5, still running the same lurk and anchor approaches here. But Aspire changing things up with Finka for Hookah here, but we will see Antar taking that out. Not gonna matter here, as Antar is gonna be able to get that initial pick. However, we will see Shivers on that rampage once again, gonna be able to take Antar out. The flash gonna come in. Turmer gonna be able to deal some heavy damage. We're out of ammo, not gonna be able to pistol whip it, unfortunately, as the ITA does what it does, being a damage powerhouse there, knocking him out. And now down to a 3v3. Sweden still holding by Blue Stars, with Vexa going to be rotating out. However, Carol with the breach still up on the board, waiting for that breach. However, we might see a rotate and a different approach from Aspire, as we're still seeing some movement from second floor down from both Casper and Shivers here. If they can get that vert, that'll give Carol the ability to breach up. But right now, with 1 minute 40 seconds, we have not seen that move happen quite yet. And with most of Evo 5 back onto site, except for Vexa by West Main, they should have the ability to clear this and get this wall open, so long as they do so fast enough. And there comes the breach. Wall's now open. We will see Sweden holding close to the breach. Going to try to get aggressive. Is going to get possibly spotted here. Might have been a miss. Carol going to be able to spot Valkyrie here. It's going to create a bit of a problem here. We're going to see some aggression from Sweden trying to get rid of Thermite here. Here comes the run out. Gonna actually succeed in taking out Carol. That's gonna be a diffuser drop, but we will see a refrag from Shivers. Watching that breach. Vexa falling back on the side, doing some tap damage onto Casper there. A lot more vert coming in from Shivers. Man, that is loud. And now we got a nade coming in. Try to check Lima from Blue Stairs. Gonna get caught by the ADS here. Gonna try to throw one more. Also caught as well. 45 seconds left. They've got to push out from the breach here. The push from the rotate. Vex are going to be able to take Casper out. Now all up to Shivers, who's still above. No diffuser in hand. Is going to have to figure something out, as they know exactly where she's going to be pushing from, which is from main stairs due to time constraints and the fact that the diffuser is outside. If she's going to push anyone else, she has to get aggressive here. Instead, going to opt to go down main stairs, taking some heavy damage here. Knows that they're stuck by the cabinet. Lima's going to finish it up with a headshot for the first round for Evo 5. That aggression from Bandit going to be huge in clearing this out and giving Evo 5 the first round.
Yeah, well, it finally has been time. Evo 5 starts winning rounds and going back to Office Master again, which is no surprise for me. Oh, they switched it up to Stunning Kitchen now, so we're going to see something different. But yeah, talking about Evo 5, again, it's a very aggressive play from them, and also on the roam. But Angster, I don't know, it's like you get the first kill. Like Evo 5 did get many first picks actually in this game, but couldn't quite get it done till the end, because those man advantages, they don't hold long for Evo 5, because Angster, for example, he got the first kill, I think, like 3 times now, and died instantly again, so it's not quite the role play you want to have.
Yeah, and those picks are only as useful as a utility that you take away. That's why if you're going to go for first pick, you generally want someone with already pre-placed utilities, such as Vexa on Castle, taking out someone with more active utilities, such as Finka or like Buck in that case.
Yeah.
But the thing that I want to point out here that was huge for last round was Sweden taking that aggression onto Carol. That's what they've done every time that Evo 5 goes down in basement, is they'll have Carol waiting very passively outside of breach, staying alive every time, and waiting for just the right moment for someone to meet up by stairs to get that smoke execute down. But thanks to Sweden running out and stopping that put Aspire in a really bad situation, to which they had to get aggressive to try to grab the fuser, which just did not pay off in their favor, unfortunately. So huge decision making from Sweden that paid off massively. So if they can do that again, they'll be in a better situation going into the swap. Still at a 3-round disadvantage at the moment. We're going to see a little bit of shots coming out so far, and Gridlock's down too. All right, and with that, we're going to see a bit of pop shots coming
deadly here.
Yeah, we're going to see some pop shots coming out from Casper and Tumor there. A little bit of chip damage. Already having a presence by libraries, or presence by library side and mezzanine, which is very unusual for this early on. I'm wondering if Evo 5 just gave it up or set up the composition to where they didn't really need to hold on library, which isn't often the case here. But we are going to see an early spot from Shivers, going to be able to take Lima, get a huge roam clear out. Now trying to clear out Vexa from below. Tumor going to get taken out by Future. That's yet another lurk, and we're going to see one slowly creeping by West Main. But it seems like Vexa knows that there's one there. Shivers holding very carefully based off the information of the buck vertical from below. It's a matter of patience, games. We're going to see one drop, and that's going to be Carol and Diffuser dropped as Sweden is going to catch him. I just realized we're first floor. Anyway, Shivers going to be able to take Axar out, full Antar for a double kill. Vexer is going to be getting Shivers. Now down to a 2v3. That's going to be going out, deal some serious damage. Casper is still alive. Casper going to get a pick from Sweden in return. Shield's going to be going out to block out Vexa here. Pulling the shield out, but a little too late. Fuser dropped, and now it's all up to Hookah, getting cut off by Vexer during the reload animation. And with that, we're going to be at a 1-5 into the swap in favor of Aspire.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been a good showing from Evo 5 here, and if you ask me, there is no depth in this defense from them. Chalet usually go at 3-3, that's the normal row swap, and most of the time it's even a bit more defender-sided, on console at least, but just getting one round on defense on Chalet, I mean, it's not looking good, and also all those stones have been pretty clear in favor of Aspire here.
Yeah, and despite how things have played out so far, props to Evo 5 for making that decision to go first floor. And even though it didn't work out, they tried something different. They kind of had to. They had that itch that it wasn't going to work out again, which I would agree. I didn't think going basement and second floor, despite all the attempts, was going to work out for a second time. But it really did look like they didn't exactly have a plan with how fast that round got cleared out. And just the nature in which it was done. So, you know, tried something different, tried to make the most out of first floor like a lot of teams did. But hey, you know, everyone's got lives, everyone's got jobs. Not everyone's going to be able to have the ideal preparation that they want, right? That's why a lot of these leagues are kind of free to enter. But regardless, we're going to see now a first floor push with Miras down the hall. Haven't seen that in a good minute, but with encountering a double window push, that can have some major impact here. So far, no initial entries yet. Looks like Evo is going to be playing this a bit on the slower side here, which, considering the amount of aggression that has been shown in previous rounds, could pay off if Aspire overextends here, but it doesn't look like they're doing that. So they're going to be playing slow. They're going to have to really get some good information on where they're playing at. Going to be holding that library, which is essential for this first floor bar game's hold. Going to see the Wamai catch those Ash charges from Antar. A lot of util going down right now, but everyone's still standing strong in the favor of Evo 5. Antar going to be rotating, try to get rid of that util, but Wamai holding aggressively, trying to get picked. Going to be swinging out a bit, trying to get aggressive, but we will not see anything there. The ADS is still holding on to that shield. It's going to be a bit of a problem trying to get that shield down, especially with Shivers just getting a Wamai disc back. However, we will see Shivers going to be able to take Sweden out on the lurk. Now that's going to be one less person for flank watch here. That could be a problem with the lurkers that Aspire has at the moment, especially players like Future holding down first floor, which could be disastrous when pushing out from the stairs and mezzanine. You're going to see a lot of shots coming out from the window, trying to push out Carol here. A lot of utility going down too, but we still do not have those shields and other utility down yet. That presence still there as Evo 5 struggles to push out from beyond piano. There's the disc catching on. Shield's still going to be up. And we're going to see a push out now. Wamai catching, we're going to see one pick. We're going to pick one. Lima going to be able to get Future out. Now 3v3 with Vexa. Going to be able to take Carol out below. Some damage from the Nitro. Not going to see any picks here. They do effectively have this second floor control, but we're going to see some additional aggression from Hookah, which is not going to pay off. Now up to Casper, who's still above waiting for that peek from the window for them to push up into library to get down on the site and punish them for that. But they're still a bit away. However, Lima now getting the plant down. Casper's going to have to make a move and try to push out this diffuser. But the problem is he's tucked behind the desk and they know where Casper is. Plant going down. There's the fight for Lima. Lima's going to go down 2v1, but there's now Vexa on the vert. This is going to make things a lot difficult for dealing with the fuse. Still holding out by the bar hall, but Tumor going to be able to shut that down from gaming room hallway. Evo 5 taking that round. Now going to be 2-5 as they look to bring this back. A little bit of concern how much time it took for them to get that utility cleared out and push out. However, regardless, they still managed to make it work and pretty much finish the job there with many huge picks as Aspire overextended to try to contest that hold onto library as much as humanly possible. Which, can you blame them? Once you get that vertical down, you're pretty much in the clear for an execute. That can spell trouble, losing that vertical. But with the time that they had remaining, sometimes it's just better to leave it and just rotate back onto site. But they didn't really get that opportunity before the damage was really done there, leading to Evo 5 getting that first round, taking so many picks, bringing it down to Casper, who just couldn't clutch it out. But with a site like that on a retake, it's really tricky. So can you really blame her? We're going to be moving on to first floor kitchen side now. We're going to have a second floor heavy composition with, sorry, I'm forgetting his name, Carol on the castle, going to be holding down those castle barricades. Reinforcements on the office wall, almost holding it like it's second floor. But my concern is, are they going to have enough anchors to prevent a walk-in? We've seen this a lot in other leagues, ladies and gentlemen, and it's very possible that that is the angle that Evo 5 can go for if they can muster up that aggression, which, who's to say, based off the last round, that might not be their play, as they played it quite passively, opting to get rid of utility and hold that vertical control and hold their positions, which did ultimately pay off, but it's just something to note. We're going to see Vexa try to open up that barricade, trying to throw a Brava onto it, or a Ram. I'm sorry, I keep saying Brava, but I don't think you can actually put that there. Not 100% sure. Going to see Tumor over by Library, already having that south side control, as they now opens up the office wall and try to get that control. Antar now pushing up to blue, or second floor blue hall. Could be a potential fight here between Shivers and Antar here, but those head-eye holes are going to make a bit of a problem due to that line of sight. No real aggression here quite yet, just holding out for time and setting up angles, clearing up as much utility as possible. Now we're going to see the fuse charges coming in, try to put Shivers in a bad spot here. Going to see those Wamai going to actually get caught here. A bit of damage, going to try to clear out that deployable shield, going to get caught. Shield still up. Might try to take some shots here to hold on to that second floor control. And so far, they've been successful. Really, they haven't taken any damage, except for Lima taking major damage. Shiver's going to be able to get Antar out. Really holding on to that second floor successfully, draining their time as they struggle to make their way into office. Still having one over in office side. However, we will see Casper take Vexa out. They still have to get into this office space if they want to get, but we do see a problem here. We got Hookah holding close to the breach, and I don't think Tumor knows that she's there. One wrong push and it's over. And the best part is she's hiding right behind a head-eye hole, so it's not hard to think there's no one there. But the pre-fire is going to force Hookah to back up a little bit. Seems like she might know playing this passive, but it's not going to matter who's Hookah catches Tumor right at the pick, as well as Shiver is going to be able to take Sweden out as well, shutting down the second floor push. Now all up to Lima, who gets shut down by Casper thanks to the double window run out. That's going to be a round for Aspire as we now move on to match point here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is do or die for Evo 5. Not looking the greatest right now. I mean, they did win their first attack round, but the second one just kind of was a struggle to get that second floor control. We saw that problem the first time when they won in Library, but the overextension from Aspire really was what helped them to win that round. But that just did not happen last round. So if they play this right again, Evo 5 could be in a lot of trouble here. Aspire doing really well to hold on to their sights. We are going to see a second floor with Carol on the Mira, which kind of interested to see what she's going to do with that. Placing one over by Library side could have some good impact in denying Library, but I always find that section to be particularly difficult to hold due to nade spamming from the double window, but Aspire coordinates their aggression just right with the proper utility to hold off that potential threat. We could see a very strong setup in outright denying the standard office take from the breach, but their setup from the Solarium side is a bit weak here. If Evo 5 is able to spot that or opts to go that route, this could spell a lot of trouble here for Aspire. We're already going to see Casper getting spotted by one of the drones. This could be a huge problem in holding this gaming roam to deny the double window entry, especially if we have one coming from basement on Evo 5, clear that person out. So far, that not happening, but we will see an early pick from Lima taking Hookah out thanks to a nade catching him out. And now they're already making that blue move. A nade coming out. Same with a Nitro. No picks on either end. Another nade out from the Vert. The peek out from Future. Oh, but the whiff. No. Tumor going to take Future out. Now a 5v3 so early on. But Carol going to swing out. Try to take Lima out and get more from the stairs. Going to get Vex as well. But Antar is going to take Shivers. Now to a raw fight on the stairs. Sledge looking the wrong ways. But it's going to be able to get away with his life. However, Casper will be able to catch him from below. Now down to a 1v2, and it's all up to Sweden. We're going to see a disconnect from Hookah. A lot of leaves here. Are we having connection issues here? I hope not. Could be just a confidence leave, like, oh, we already know what the outcome is. However, this is still very winnable from Sweden, with it being a 1v2. However, Casper is going to be able to catch Sweden on the quick peek from the window for the headshot. And that's going to be the win for Aspire. GG's to both teams. But with the 7-2 sweep, the rounds taken on defense is going to be too much for Evo 5 to adapt to. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's been classes between these two teams on Chalet. Yeah, you saw the difference in not just aim, but also team play in general. Evo 5 not on a level that they should be on, but they have still have quite a few chances to show what they got. Yeah, I would say we go into the break.
Yeah, I think we can go for for a bit of an intermission, and we'll see you on to match 2, which is gonna be. Give me a second here. E-Wave Esports versus Empire Gaming. We'll see you in a bit. Hello and welcome back to the ESA Cup. I'm back here with Freddie. We are now on to game 2, which is going to be E-Wave Esports versus Empire Gaming. For our lineup, we're going to have on Empire Gaming Scripts EG, Fuster Ghost, Perfect, Moritz, Sanity, Reflee, Zeven, and Rixie. Once again, sorry for the name slander. And then for E-Wave Esports, we've got Pat, Yannick, Cola, Don, Rizraz, Dex, Aljo, and X. I'm sorry for the names. But before we get into the maps, Freddie, tell me a little bit about the teams and what we might be able to expect from them and how they're going to play for tonight's match.
Well, both teams are very known to the community, so everybody knows them. I can talk about E-Wave a bit because we just played each other yesterday on RBS in the grand final, which was a best of 5, which E-Wave lost to us 3-0. So they're kind of in a downward spiral, I would say, especially since they're, I don't want to call them star players, but very good players left them, and they quite haven't recovered from that till now. And results have been going down for them recently, also losing the best of 5, 3-0, having no chance at winning any map. Kind of demotivating for them, I guess, but it's ESA, so I hope they will find that motivation and get performing again, because that's what they used to do, and they were they were one of the best teams recently on console in the German com. So, you expect much out of them, but, recently it hasn't been much. Coming to Empire Gaming, they have been around for such a long time, for years now. And they haven't been always at the top, but they have been there. They have been a good team, a team that had upset potential, especially for a lot of good teams. But they haven't quite made it yet. So I'm gonna be interesting to see if they finally have it to go through the groups, to go through the playoffs, and to finally be that underdog team that prevails and you know gets everything done.
Yeah, and I've casted for E-Wave several times in the past, so they're no stranger to me. And it's really unfortunate to go through some major roster changes. That always can mess things up when it comes to still, rebuilding that chemistry, which can take some time, especially if you have different operator preferences. It can really take some time because you might have to readjust your strats to the new player's composite or operator compositions, which may or may not work out. And that's going to be something we'll have to keep an eye out for tonight's or for this match with them. But let's go ahead and move on to the map bans and see what we've got going on there. So, with that being said, we're going to see Shaolei actually once again, seeming like it'll be a more popular map at least for this group stage matchups tonight. Second time, we're going to be having E-Wave Esports starting on defense with their pick. It's going to be second time seeing it. Maybe we'll see some more first floor play here because last time with Evo 5, we had a lot of basement and second floor, but maybe there is some merit to it. Maybe the meta for console is a bit different, at least on PC. First floors everywhere. Freddie, I think you kind of testified to that it's even on console, it's more of a first floor kind of thing, right?
Yeah, you always go bar deep, bar gaming first, or kitchen dining, and upstairs is very rarely played. Even downstairs is played a bit as the most third side picked, if the two other sides were won recently. Um, it was very unusual to see that out of Evo 5, and I hope we see something different now, especially coming from those two teams which been known to have a quite deep strat book. So I'm gonna be interested in see how they're gonna play differently this time.
Yeah, especially from the standpoint of like win loss, because 7-2 can have a big impact on your score differential when it comes to future standing matches. That's a 5 point differential, and that can be really hard to pick up, especially when you start getting, more closer matches and the standings start to finalize. Those round differentials can make a massive difference. So even if you lose, right, you don't want to lose in a major round difference fashion. That can really come up to bite you, especially if you're tying for an eliminations qualifying point and you both have the same win loss and the difference is round differential. That's where it's especially the most important in getting the best slot possible when it comes to eliminations. So we'll see if we're going to see a closer match or if we might have a similar round differential kind of situation. And I think the sites we pick will come down to that. But with that being said, looks like the teams are going to be ready, and we'll be moving back onto Shaolei with, once again, E-Wave Esports going to be starting on the defense here. You think we're going to see similar bands here to last time, Freddie, or do you think it'll be a bit more towards like the competitive meta, if you will? Seeing Jackal was a bit of
Well,
an unusual pick for me.
yeah, I don't see Jackal ban this time. It's gonna be quite interesting because I don't have any clue how Empire is gonna ban, and also E-Wave, and has been okay. Ying, kind of expected, as I said already on the last map. Ying has been the most recent banned up this season, which kind of left me surprised. But it's still a strong operator, and many teams play it, so understandable.
Yeah, the rework with how flash propagation works really put her on the board because you should just be frustrating because you just hide around a corner and did nothing. Now it's just a end all be all. You want a room cleared out, you're gonna get a room cleared out with Ying, and that's kind of how that works. The only thing sucks about it is like you can always just shoot him out, especially when you just kind of spam them. You catch them in time. It's not the greatest thing ever. We will see a Nook ban from Empire here, which honestly kind of expected, but also kind of unexpected. I believe they took away Nox nades, didn't they? I might be mistaken there. I haven't been
You're
following the
asking a
patch
good
notes, but
question there.
I do
I don't
believe
know,
that
Nico.
Nook does not have her grenades anymore. But regardless, she's been really strong due to how attack or defenders have been very roam heavy. That's kind of been the meta for a while now, being more roam heavy than anchor. And Nock is just so good at being able to bypass intel and catch anyone unfortunate enough to be within her vicinity off guard. And with the Solus ban as well, it kind of that would have worked well if the Nook was still on the board, but not. So kind of neutralize that. But we will see the Azami ban as well. Azami's not a bad ban no matter where you go, because if you have a choke point, and there are several choke points on Chalet, on pretty much any site, Azami can be an absolute nightmare. We are going to start off on basement, though. Seeing a lot of basement in second floor play. Was not expecting that for tonight's matchups. But with that being said, we are going to see a Frost on the board as well from Rizraz. Could be anticipating a rush kind of approach, but that's not going to be happening from what I can tell, as we have Ruffle on the Maverick, Scripps on Sledge, opting for a more slower playstyle, or at least a heavy execute with Wester Ghost on the Finca there. So really curious to see what Empire is kind of cooking up here.
Oh, certainly going to change. I just want to take a moment to appreciate the new update with the free roam camera, which has been quite cool and kind of refreshing to see for observing. Just makes the game a bit
Oh,
more fun to observe.
absolutely.
Just wanted to point
Yeah,
that out,
that free
and
roam.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that free roam has been really nice, and I do appreciate our production for taking full advantage of that feature. I remember some of my buddies talking about it, some of my caster mates, about the free roam, and yeah, they've been putting it into good use. Oh, and Don and Legion has the super shorty. Man, this game's changed so
yep.
much in 4 months. But anywho, we're gonna see a bit of a basement push, and that's gonna be coming out from Moritz. They do have it barricaded off, so if they try to push in, there's gonna be no shortage of heads up for a push from that side of the map, which is helpful when you got every wall under the sun getting opened up to kind of get an idea of when they're pushing to aggress against that timing. That's how you have to hold basement. You got to play it very aggressive when everything gets inevitably popped open. We're going to have Fresta Ghost and Ruffle already on it, getting ready to get those walls open, as well as Moritz pushing his way over from Snowmobile. But here's the problem, though. With those feed holes, that could pose a major problem for Moritz trying to make his way over to get that side of the wall open. Rixie already having the main breach open, set up coming, but with a Goyo in the way on that breach, if they don't get this setup done soon, it could pose a significant problem here. Moritz now going to be walking up, trying to get that breach ready. We still have Dawn all the way up onto second floor, but right now there's not really a top down coming from here. And with that Goyle still on the board, it could be a serious problem here. All right, there comes the first pick. Rizraz going to take Rixie. Moritz taking Rizraz in return. The picks now coming out as they try to deny that wall. Goyle's going to be coming out. They're going to execute. They're not going to have a lot of time remaining. Squip's going to be able to catch Don on his way back, but Aoho going to be able to get Fuesta Ghost in return. 3v3, those walls are going to get open. However, with the fire still up and burning high, they're going to be running out of time here, as they're going to be forced to push up on short amounts of time, which E-Wave is going to be able to take huge advantage of, especially with Dex still on the board with a Nitro available. Going to see a bit of flank watch here, waiting for that setup, but we still have Pat above. A bit of pre-firing here. Pat's going to give away his position here. Going to have to jump and rotate. Scripps taking a bit of damage from that initial Goyo, but the pick from Scripps actually going to be a Legion. Now 13 seconds left on the board. They're going to have to push up, but the two picks from Mortz and Ruffle going to be able to clear them out before they're able to fully deny the push. The Nitro being thrown a bit early out.
Well, nicely tagged there from EG. I mean, perfect combination there, pushing the guy upstairs, realizing the importance of getting that hedge control. And, well, I don't know what to say. E-Wave could kind of, I was told that EG's main map was actually Chalet, so I don't know if E-Wave didn't do the homework here or if they were just confident enough to go on Chalet. But I mean, we can already see that GG has really good team play on this map here and very strong start here from them.
Yeah, gotta give props to E-Wave though. Their anchoring was really good there. It was just right when it came to actually taking those picks and all of the util getting burnt off like the Goyles and whatnot was where the struggle kind of came in, and E-Wave just couldn't really hold it off, especially once they started getting into site itself and pushing up beyond kind of, holding back and trying to hold those cutoff angles. But we will see a move now down onto first floor here over to kitchen and dining. There's that first floor play that we were talking about, which is probably for the better. Basement is kind of infamously hard to hold his defense for that very reason that we saw with Empire just opening every wall under the sun, locking up West Main and all the points of rotate with Don getting picked off, trying to come back onto site. It's really what makes the site so infamously difficult to hold. If you really don't have a point to anchor onto in a line of sight with as many hard walls as there is on that site, it can make for quite an excruciating struggle.
Oh, coming to nades out there, first ghost. Not connecting quite. We see it down in kitchen defense. That's the second side. Something more different. We see Moritz going down garage, cutting off the flank, maybe going down or going up Westman on the late flank up there.
Yeah, and with the way that E-Wave is holding
here so far.
Yeah, we're seeing already a lot of push up into first floor lobby side from Empire, already starting to get those walls busted open, trying to get that setup onto second floor, get that control, try to get that flirt. They do have a lot of vertical here with Scripps on Buck and Moritz on the sledge. So even if one of them goes down, they still are going to be able to clear out everything they need. Fuego is going to be trying to send another nade out, try to catch one from behind the table here, and that's going to be Rizraz holding that aggressive angle, which might not pay off. However, nade is going to go off. Nitro, no picks yet, despite all of the explosive utility being expended so far. That main lobby wall now fully open. Fresco's popping that Finka boost. Going to try to see if she can force a pick here. But with the way E-Wave is playing right now, I don't think we're going to see a direct fight such that is going to happen. Scripps going to get spotted here, trying to deal with 2 here, possibly 3 from above while trying to get the vert. Rexy going to be able to get Scripps down. Rexy trying to look for a refrag here, but is going to take some major damage and barely be able to get that refrag onto Pat. Dex going to take Pixie out. Another pick from Moritz getting Rizraz out, down to a 3v3. Where Ghost still trying to get that top floor control, but with the positioning that we have right now, it doesn't look like Vert is going to be feasible with the amount of time that's down unless they can force the office player down, get Dex out of there. So there comes the Finka boost. Going to try to push this breach, swing out, but is not going to be able to get the pick as Frere Ghost is eliminated by Dex. We're denying that vertical hold. However, we will see Moritz finally get Dex out, but with 30 seconds on the clock, it's going to be rather difficult trying to get that full impact as they still have to push through the smoke and try to get that plant down. Don taking heavy damage here, but we are going to see some shots from below, and that's going to be from smoke. Moritz taking some serious damage here, still alive. Ruffle now onto site. He's going to have to get the plant down with 10 seconds left, but here comes Don, going to be trying to deny that plant. But if Moritz is able to deny for just long enough to get the plant down, it might be a different situation. Dies in the process, able to get the plant down. However, Ruffle is going to be able to get Don down. Now down to a 1v1. Holding by the door, taking serious damage. Aljo now running out of options here. Stuck by West Main. Ruffle out with the pistol whip, taking some serious damage on the Aljo, but he still gets the pick despite the heavy damage with only 1 HP remaining and plenty of time to defuse for a clean retake. Thanks to Aljo being able to hold out despite the denial from Sledge, just in time for the plant. It's not going to be enough here, as E-Wave will take that round.
Well, nice defense from E-Wave. You see the importance of, covering that piano and office side above. It's so important to get the control, and they got most bodies upstairs, and nice clutch from Ayo in the end. I would have been mad if E-Wave thrown away that round in the end, but Ayo luckily surviving with 1 HP. Getting the clutch onto Raffle, who kind of fails to reload. I think he overloaded his main gun the clutch would have been his. But nicely played by Alio. And finally, I think for the first time actually, like the second time in this on this evening, we see a bar gaming defense. Well, pretty standard build up here from E-Wave. Gonna be, well, yeah, pretty standard. Pretty late build up onto the downstairs side, but you know, kind of missing the shotguns there. So kind of interesting how EG gonna attack this one. Looks like it's gonna be standard onto the north side of the building. See first Ghost trying to enter the trophy area, but Wristpress has a hole down from kitchen. This has to be drone, and it looks like it's gonna be. That's always a pretty difficult thing to enter, but Rixie somehow finding Wristpress onto the kitchen area. That's first kill down. And that.
Yep, that's gonna be Rizraz off of the board.
How did that happen though?
Hard to say. With aggressive picks, really anything can happen here. But regardless, that is going to be Rizraz, that lurker, kind of out of the picture here. And right now, we're going to see a lot of that first floor horizontal push thanks to Forest Ghost getting that control all the way up to kitchen side. Now, we're going to start to see that library control as we have Rixie holding over by library double, trying to push in. If she can get that vertical control with the help of scripts here, they'll be in a really good position to start getting that vertical control. However, we will have Aljo going to be holding out, trying to deny all that he can. We also have Dex on the main stairs as well, but if he gets caught out by Fuestigos, that's going to put Aljo in an isolated situation here. Playing a bit separated, Rixie going to be able to catch Aljo from the hole in the barricade. Now down to a 3v5 here, with plenty of time in favor of Empire to get all of the damage that they need in. We'll see Pat and Don back onto site here. But with Dex, we're going to see a pick here. Going to be able to get Forest Ghost out. However, still at a person disadvantage. And with that vertical control, they can really get started to clear them out and get their damage in. We will see Pat over by Mudroom holding for that final push. That is a very common tactic. Hold out by Mudroom for the push into pool table. But depending from where they push from, that can have mixed effects. However, Dex will be able to put scripts out of this round, despite that very fact that it is a very common spot to hold. Going to be working out in their favor here. 3v3 with 35 seconds. Empire is going to have to make a move to get onto site here, opting to push from Fireplace with minimal vertical here. 25 seconds left. They got to make a move. They know there is one Mudroom. They have to clear Dex out, or else entering site is going to be near impossible. However, despite that, we're going to see the headshots from Couch onto Rixie. 13 seconds remaining, and we have not seen much of a push from Empire here. If they're going to get this, they have to make a move now. However, Don will be able to get Morts, trying to push up. Pat going to get shut down. 3 seconds left. Ruffle has to make the move to plant, but is not going to be able to, as Dex pushes up to the feed holes and catches Ruffle, giving them another round for E-Wave.
Well, what a nice recovery that was from E-Wave, and especially Dex with the castle getting many frags down there. I mean, but also you have to mention that EG, they had everything. They had the 2-man advantage. They had obvious control, and they couldn't finish the round. So that's kind of blame to them, because they had Ash, they had the sledge, and they didn't even really make vertical holds. So kind of a misplay, I would say, from EG, because that was such a nice round up to that point.
Yeah, they got control fast, and they had every opportunity to really push them off the site and force them off, clear them out, and then really put the fight to them. Even from the outside, they still could have done that. You know, Mudroom, wait for them to rotate out to that window where Dex was, flush them out from the window, double windows as well, try to punish them if they try to over-aggress. I mean, even Fireplace, you know, waiting for them to kind of leave that area, cut them off. They could have had huge impact there, but opted for the horizontal, which isn't necessarily a bad play, but with the way that E-Wave was anchoring them, giving Empire no real actual play in order to dig in, it just did not work out for them.
It certainly didn't, and Oh, Rizras could find the kill onto the Nomad there. No, but it's not quite connecting there. Onto First Ghost, and Rizras drops down the edge. Lucky for First Ghost to stay alive there. This could have been a free kill.
Yeah, there was a lot of potential for Rizraz to do so much damage to First Ghost. She's lucky to be alive where she currently is. We're going to see some holes being made from below. Rizraz going to try to get a second stab at West Ghost. Not going to be able to see any damage there, unfortunately, for her as they start to push out from library. Starting to get that control. We have Rixie now starting to push her way up from library. But we might see Rizraz try to take another stab yet again onto catching someone, but instead is going to rotate all the way back over to basement, holding by the shelves. Still no real utility put up against any of the setup yet with a heavy first floor presence, which Empire is investing into trying to get that cleared out and get that all under control here. 1 minute and 40 seconds. Still a lot of time. No initial picks yet. Vertical now going down. And with most of the team rotated off, except for one all the way in second floor still, and that's going to be Dawn from E-Wave, still holding above. A lot of potential to do some serious damage here if done or if positioned correctly. But if we remember last time he was there, rotated down from second floor and got cut off by Empire as they pretty much just ignored him. However, we are going to see First Ghost take Dex out. Rizraz going to be able to get more, but not without suffering heavy damage here. Now 4v4, still with heavy vert control and site setup as they are full and ready to breach. But right now, we're still seeing some minimal on-site presence here, or at least on-site pressure beyond scripts from the vertical. A lot of shots going out, no damage taken so far. Time's starting to run out, and with everyone anchored onto site, this is the point where you want to open up and push in with unrelenting force. Dawn going to go down from Fresco, is going to be able to pick up a double kill here. That Goyo going to be cutting her off. The plant going down from Ruffle over by the shelf. Plant's going to go down as Rixie cuts off Rizraz from entering connector. We're going to see a pick from Pet Wave. Going to be able to take Fresco's down after the down. Heavy damage onto Pat. And now the aggression from Aljo trying to take Ayana here. Not going to be able to hit those shots. Going up Fireplace Stairs to try to take another. However, Rixie is going to get Pat Wave. Trying to go for the defuse here, but the swing from Rixie. And we're going to see a 1-for-1 pick from both. Nice try, but ultimately a pick is only as good as you are alive. So a real nice try, but when both hit their shots at the same time and you're the only one alive, well, that's where the numbers game comes in, isn't it?
It surely does, but also I have to mention First goes onto the blue stairs area with the Nomad finding, I think, 2 very important kills there onto Dex and Pat. Nicely done by the blue stairs. You'd normally think it wouldn't have much of an impact there, but that was just single-handedly winning them the round. And also, Raffle is surviving that impact with 1 HP onto the plant and could stick the plant there. Very important too, because otherwise it would have been a very close round there. But, I mean, luckily for EG, they find their second round and they even out the scoreboard once again. And it's the anticipated close game that I was at least hoping for and also expecting it.
A close game is what we asked for, and a close game is exactly what we get with both teams catching up and even the numbers out for the rounds back to back. Now moving on to first floor kitchen and dining. We are going to see Aljo with the Warden now. Going to be very useful for a possible smoke plant, but we're not going to see one as Ruffle will actually opt for flashes this time around on the wall execution if they so choose to go down that route. But so far, it looks like they're going to be trying to go for a extended or vertical, try to get from library all the way over onto above from office side. But with the utility invested onto second floor, it might cause them a bit of difficulty. But with the way that they've kind of played their time, who's to say how this will play out and what the outcome will be? It's anyone's game at this point.
It surely is. It's a very close game, and we saw already in the first 2 games many close rounds coming in. And well, we see the dining kitchen defense once again. And last time I said the upstairs hole was pretty impressive by E-Wave, and let's see how this time they can hold upstairs if they can do it once again. This time I think they got the Kaid from Dawn. So the breach is not going to get opened above. And Rizras finds the first opening on the first ghost, so man advantage too.
Yeah, that nitro onto Fuer's Ghost is gonna hurt a bit. Having that Finca charge can always come in clutch, especially if you got it down and you just out of reach for that revival. That's really one of those strengths of Finca that I think is underutilized and can have a lot of potential here. But here comes the push, getting that office wall open. They're gonna be trying to push their way in here. So far, just getting that wall open. Don taking some major damage here, but no downs quite yet, other than that initial pick onto Fuerst. Thanks to that nitro here, we're gonna have Pat holding down piano side, and they're gonna kind of push off from that second floor. Nade coming in from below from Moritz. Gonna be able to successfully take down that Cade charge. Very nice nade.
Very nice
now
team
Ruffle
play.
getting the breach finally opened up now. 53 seconds left. Still a bit of a problem with the second floor presence that E-Wave still has. However, with that wall, they are able to put Empire on a pinch if they are able to stack that pressure both on the vertical and the horizontal component here, just to prevent, kind of playing off of each other and holding above. However, we are going to see Aljo get Rixie out, now rotating back down from Fireplace, but there's still one more above. With 25 seconds left on the board, they're going to have to try to find their opening somewhere. Moritz with no nades. They still got 5 flashes if they really want to spam their way into preventing. Here comes the plant, but we have one from below. That's going to be Don throwing the nitro. It's not going to connect. Takes in some damage. Moritz going to be able to take Rizraz scripts, getting Pat down. And now the plant going down in the same spot as last time. We're going to see one pick from Aljo. Is he going to be able to clutch this one up again? As we saw from last time, I believe it was Aljo, gonna be able to get the pick onto Ruffle, but now it is up to Scripps, who is now playing vertical, trying to hold passive here. However, we see Aljo on his way to push up blue stairs to push Scripps here, but with him being a one armor, he knows dang well exactly where he is. First flash comes out, Aljo using his utility, but Scripps being able to catch him before he's able to get his gun fully up with the shotgun, which has been buffed, by the way, to knock him right out of the park and give them that round. Empire taking that.
Well, it looked like an E-Wave round, but somehow he managed to get the round. To be honest, I don't really know what happened. George and Frax just came in for EG. E-Wave just left the top floor completely and just decided to go back down into kitchen, and it didn't work out. And after you just mentioned the C4 bait from Raffle onto the breach, excellent. Excellent. I mean, he knew that there was a C4 coming down there below. That's why he faked it, and that was the round deciding moment, actually. If that plant didn't go through, it would have been an E-Wave round, but such a nice play from him. You have to admit it.
Yeah, no, that vertical presence was vital to helping with that execute. Script staying above, cutting off that diffuse was so helpful, because we know that when it comes to horizontal, E-Wave knows how to take that back, especially on that side. So Scripps staying above and keeping his ears perked up was very, very huge in winning that round as well. A lot of good plays from Empire there to take what was looking like a potentially worrying situation and turn it around in their favor. Though E-Wave doing a good job in holding off that vertical component, with them not being able to really get that full control to get the vertical they wanted, even being able to take another pick before falling back. But that's where Scripps came back, and, well, we all saw what happened there.
Well, we did, and we're going back to the bar gaming side, and we have Moritz not quite finding a kill onto Rizraz. That would have been a big opening once again onto Rizraz. Would have been the second time here. But we see E-Wave playing the same strat once again. Let's see how they will do it, this time without that 2-man disadvantage.
Yeah. And one thing I want to note about this composition before the bullets really start flying, I want to point out they have a lot of invested into office side despite playing all the way in bar and gaming. They are really invested into denying this by having that heavy vertical extension. And right now, it's paying off as they are going for a library push here. Mort's getting that castle down, getting ready to push out from office side. We do see Ruffle all the way in bedroom as well, starting to get that control. But at the time that they've stalled, before they even really get library, might have already paid off. 1 minute 25 seconds remaining. Aljo now down but not out. Flash is now going out, trying to push out into Blue Hall. They do have a red ping. They know that there is one in Library right now, waiting for Rizraz to slip up, or whoever's in Library. However, we will see a down onto Fuerskos. Not out though, but considering she's all the way in dining and there's no Finka to be seen, don't think she's going to be getting back from this one unless Ruffles able to haul all the way over to get the res, which it looks like she will in this case.
Well, risky spot to revive there. Ruffles still going for it. Pet doesn't hear it. It doesn't even look in the direction. Once again, 3v5 situation for EG. They have the top row control. They have the operators for the vertical play. But they're not quite doing anything with it, just as it seems. But this time, we're gonna have Rizraz being picked out down onto the boosters by first goes Pet, finding a refrag, going onto the 2v4 situation now. Looks like EG's gonna do the lobby attack now. Dawn finding Raffle. Waiting for the headshot, but there's no one coming. But Pat still has the bar door covered. Nice crossfire.
Alright.
Now going for the plant.
Oh no!
And a very important kill from Rixie there. Just leaves Pat in 1v3 situation, and there's just no way Scripps closing out the round and giving EG their next round, and that's the 4-2 swap for EG.
I just want to say that was so close. All they needed to do was get that pick on the diffuser, and that would have been a complete turnaround. But not being able to secure that pick pretty much sealed the deal with a significant man disadvantage. But that was so winnable for E-Wave. All they had to do was get that planter, and it was over due to how little time they had, but just not being able to get it out, allowing Empire to tightly win that out and have all the cover they need after the biggest threat there was taken out. Such a close round. Those are the types of rounds and gameplay that you want to see, that we all love to see, because that was a nail biter there, down to the wire, allowing Empire to narrowly win it. All it would have taken was one lost gunfight, and that was it.
Yeah, but we see once again, just in the first 6 rounds, we see so many close rounds coming down to like just so many small things in the end. It's just really insane. Shows how close those two teams are right now on this map here.
Absolutely. And we're going to now see Dawn actually with a Monty here. The first shield that we've seen in a minute here. And we're even going to see Rizraz on the Brava as well. Things that you don't usually see every day. I've heard Brava actually has been quite weak in this current meta. But who knows? We might be able to see some huge impact here with this unique composition. This isn't something you see every day.
Well, I completely agree, but also if you look at the lineup out of E-Wave, those are operators we haven't seen today at all, I think, with 4 of them. So, gonna be interesting. We will see a lobby attack this time from E-Wave. Not like the EG attack from Master Bedroom going to Library, but the lobby attack. Also helps now with the Brava cam also destroying or hacking the utility in lobby. So that won't be a problem. With his lobby cam being hacked, the bulletproof being hacked, the utility being hacked, and now we're gonna have the Monty walk into lobby. Just when the door's getting open. There we go.
Yeah, we're gonna see some light damage. Deck's gonna be able to get Scripps out of here with that pick. We're gonna see some aggression onto Monty, trying to push out the Jaeger here. We got one onto double window, but with that cover, the Jaeger's really only main problem right now is Monty. Monty trying to hip fire, but remember, Monty's not exactly the laser he used to be on the hip fire. He's going to have to commit to that ADS if he wants to get that damage in, or someone push up for the double window, and that's going to be Pat able to take him out. The immediate swing on Muff Ruffle, getting him out. A heavy push, resulting in a 5v1 and a flawless round in favor of E-Wave here, flushing out Empire with the aggressive pushes, one after another, shutting down Empire for an explosive start to the half.
Well, I think EG didn't expect that. That was such a nice round from them. But also we saw Raffle didn't quite know where to look or where to do anything. You kind of look lost, just like the whole EG in this round. Very nicely played from with the Monty to lobby stairs, just applying the pressure and kind of defenders retrieving and getting caught. By the UF players just waiting for them to run into the crosshair. Nicely played.
Absolutely. The name of the game in this game really is that momentum. Once you build the slightest momentum on attack, that's where everything really falls apart and really is when the test begins for defenders of can you adapt? Because anyone can hold down sight, anyone can hold an angle, anyone can set up crossfires, but it's about what do you do when somebody falters and you're now down a person and a position is compromised and they start to get control. That's where the real question is your defense solid? Because if you can't handle that, the answer is a resounding no. And that's what we saw. E-Wave was given an inch and they took it to a mile, 5 miles even, with a flawless round in the fashion that they got it in the back-to-back picks. That's kind of how the nature of attacking is, especially with right now. You get an inch, you get a mile. And the mile they sure had.
Well, you're truly right. This could go either way in this one here.
Yeah, still very winnable, especially if E-Wave can keep these rounds up.
Yeah, but this time, no Monty coming into play here from Dawn. And we see kind of Ibana breaching there, kind of a late flank maybe. That's an interesting, you don't see that too often. But Rixie finding the first kill onto Ayu, if you can mention already. And that's Dex finding first kills. Who was hiding in the corner, had to move because of the firebolt.
Oh yeah, and this is what Captel's known for right here. These firebolts going to be trying to push off Mortis here, trying to get that library presence as much as they can. That vertical control is going to be huge. Being able to get that wall open. Pat going to be taking some serious damage. A nade coming in. That's going to force a rotate out. However, Scripps will be able to get Pat down despite starting to get that second floor control. Able to push one off. However, they're still not physically in library quite yet. Still have some ways to make as Ruffles now moved back over to library hallway. Whereas Ghost may be down, but E-Wave is down 2 right now. You're going to see a rappel down from the window. Almost Dawn getting caught. The flash going out. Dawn going to be rotating out. Going to be able to get that mudroom control. Anchoring outside, waiting to get that execute going. But with 54 seconds, they have to get control. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think anyone has diffuser. No, they do not. They are in a tough spot right now. Rizraz trying to take out Rixie here. Going to take some serious damage, but still able to hold on just enough. However, Moritz trying to get that swing, not going to succeed, and not a refrag either. That pre-fire is going to hold Rixie off to move onto site. 30 seconds remaining. They have top control. They have diffuser in hand. They're going to have to go for an hatch drop execute here. But with 25 seconds on the clock, this could be potentially disastrous here, depending on really how Empire executes, or not Empire, I'm sorry, E-Wave executes. This is all on them to make that move. With no smokes, with no fire, they're going to have to force that plant. Don going to be able to take 1, take 2, get Rixie and Ruffle out. Now up to Scripps to deny the plant with 5 seconds left, but he is a little too late as Don is going to swing out onto the hatch to get Scripps out of the round, giving Empire yet another, or I'm sorry, E-Wave another round.
Well, I was going to say in the middle of the round that there was a big flank coming in from the Vomai, but he just stalled for too long. He could have gotten so many kills, so much impact, but decides to just stick around for too long upstairs, and that kind of gives E-Wave the round, because otherwise it would have been a real nightmare for them. But also nice to play from E-Wave. They're going to the plan, rotating late onto that gaming side. Wow, once again coming very close. Just like you said, the small things coming into play once again. If the Vomai did flank like 2-3 seconds earlier, this would have been round over for EF once again.
Yeah, especially with how tight that some of these angles are being held from E-Wave, it can be kind of hard to tell when is the right time to strike, because they have been doing that quite well is learning when to lock up their angles. I mean, we clearly saw that with that hold from Fireplace getting 2 picks, getting 1 pick over from the swing from Jaeger. This is the kind of thing that E-Wave has been doing really well here, is sticking to their control and holding it. They don't just give up control for Empire to take back. Once that control is gone, it's gone, and they have to either fight for it or they just have to play around that very real risk. Because once they have it, you know there's going to be somebody from E-Wave holding around it or holding on it. Although sometimes how they get that control can be a bit of a struggle, and that's where Empire really can get that impact here.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice view. Coming down to bar to kitchen and dining once again, and Scripps getting the nade dunked on his head. Nice nade from Petter. And not coming next nade maybe. Nope, not coming quite yet. But I also see like E-Wave coming from a different side now once again. Kind of a different approach like EG used to do it. More against the mainstream here. Coming from the Zola attack. Rixie holding out for the lobby entrance, but no one quite there. And there we have it. Dex onto Trophy. He's in. He's on side, but nobody seems to know. Well, now they seem to know. Rixie finds Dex, but also getting killed from wristbands. We just rush into lobby. This is such a clown fiesta round. Fusco's getting the kill from above, but Pat refragging back onto Moritz. Now it's a 3v2 situation for E-Wave actually.
Yeah, with the fashion that they have applied so much on-site presence, it is costing Empire heavily here as they are able to steamroll their way in. And now the only person left to finish the job or possibly save the round in this case is going to be Frescos, who's all the way above. And you still have Pat holding, knowing dang well where Frescos is, winning that round in a rapid fashion once they got that on-site aggression going towards E-Wave as they now take the lead here, coming back from a 2-4 situation.
Oh, strong attacks out of E-Wave so far. I mean, they would do 2 rounds now, which were at such a speed. EG didn't even realize it was happening. Like the first round with the Monty lobby entrance, they didn't even know what to do. Now this time the very quick trophy rush coming in with the Maru and the Sense, and paired with the lobby entrance from the Brava, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to hold, and you can see EG were kind of off guard. And judging by that, EG has problems with such a fast pace so far.
Absolutely. And it looks like we might see a bit of worry from Empire here as they do call a timeout. Like I said before, they had a considerable lead, but they have now lost it with E-Wave now being at the person advantage here. Whatever they choose to do, they're going to have to figure out something fast as right now they're not on a good streak. E-Wave is got a lot of momentum and they are not showing any signs of stopping, especially when, like you said, they just get that presence and face no real resistance or have that shut down immediately. That creates a real problem for the anchors, especially on a site that is as open as that. It just puts too much strain that anchors are not really able to handle. When you're playing first floor with that kind of setup, you need to have an anchor presence to help stave off having everyone at every single direction imaginable. And they weren't able to do that. And it cost them quite dearly in trying to win that round. So now, hopefully with this reset, at least in Empire's sake, having that reset is going to allow them to possibly pick up or get back onto picking up the rounds. Because right now, if they lose this round and aren't able to get that momentum reset, this might be E-Wave's match here.
Well, this surely might be. Hopefully EG can recover from the last 3 rounds here, because it hasn't been looking quite too good for them. This time they go back to the bar and gaming. This time UF again decides against that Monty, but also EG kind of, anti-strutting against that Monty while opening the lobby hatch and, placing a bit more utility there. So we're gonna see a different approach from E-Wave here. Oh, looks like more of a library attack once again then. This time it's the Buck of Value applying a pressure onto the garage stairs down. Once again we see also just like EWF did it with that office rotation and scripts playing there together with a raffle from the Frost. Dawn again trying to breach the onside wall. I don't know how you call that wall, but getting impacted. So no wall being opened there.
Yeah, that breach is causing them a lot of trouble here in getting what they need to get here. So far, not a whole lot of control onto second floor, though they do still have plenty of time. But hey, still have frost mats and a lot of stuff like that, which I don't know if they're catching that, because down like that, especially with as many people second floor as they have, is going to be a source of major trouble. However, we do have that pick going out. It's going to help them with the time that they've got to push through here. So we'll see how much further they're able to get in.
Well, scripts in the office not being drawn, but also up before. Now getting maybe pinched. Pet does though really want to engage the gunfight here with Dip on high. Knowing from costly and just waits for his teammate Rizraz who runs into piano. Scripps holding on for that office a bit too long, and while having no support, it's gonna get difficult. And we see Moritz really struggling to play it down or up that lobby side. And Rizraz flicking onto Moritz, who doesn't know where to run, and now it's a 2v5 situation and it doesn't look good for EG.
No, not at all. This is a tough situation. However, they do still have Rixie holding outside for that lurk, but not going to be in the right spot, unfortunately, as it looks like E-Wave is going to be opting for that poolside put execute, which Rixie is not going to be able to get his eyes on too many people from there. Here comes a pick from Capitao, watching for Rixie. They now know he's there. Intel and all got guns down on him over in Fireplace. That's going to hold him back. We are going to see Pat take Rixie out. Now all up to Frescos, who gets immediately picked off afterwards from Rizraz, resulting in another flawless round. And now E-Wave at match point. That timeout, unfortunately, not going to be halting the momentum like they were hoping for. Now it is do or die for them. That's usually what you want timeouts for, is to reset that momentum. But unfortunately, Empire was not successful there.
Well, that timeout didn't work. I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, it's 4 rounds in a row after they just won 3 rounds in a row. So the motivation is kind of decreasing here. I mean, EG, they don't stand a chance against any attacks here from E-Wave. I mean, just besides the one bar gaming round where maybe Raffle could have decided the round, but still was a 3v1 situation in the end. No defense was close to even winning, and that's kind of worrying here for EG, because Chalet is a more defended-sided map, and you would want to have it. I mean, the normal row swap is like 4-2 for a defense, so it's kind of worrying seeing them that they don't get any grasp, or they don't get any foot rolling onto the defense side here after showing such a strong attacking side.
Absolutely. It's looking real tough. It's looking really tough here, but we are going to see a lot of composition changes. We're going to see Fuerzghost on it, or Oryx, Ruffle on Echo. A lot of very unique composition change that you don't really see very often. Whether or not that has the impact they're looking for, it's hard to say. And my main concern is that with the man advantage that E-Wave has been able to maintain prior to getting these executes down, I'm really concerned about whether or not Ruffle is going to be able to stay alive long enough to let his Echo drones get the information they need. However, paired with Oryx, if he uses his drones aggressively, could be huge. However, despite the nade, Ruffle will be able to take Dex out. However, under a lot of pressure here with the shield down. Another nade incoming. Not noticing that nade incoming. And there he is. He's gone. Pat going to be able to get Ruffle down. There goes the Echo cams and the active utility. Now we'll see Rizraz from below trying to clear out that basement. No one there so far. However, with the person, or actually no person advantage with Dex being eliminated there and Ruffle, but losing that Echo Cam, which can be very useful for denial, can be a serious situation here, as it looks like E-Wave is a bit spread out, but going to be eventually convening on to second floor, opting to go for Solarium side, which did work quite well for them last time. And right now, going for that Ibana wall. Moritz possibly trying to see if he can go over. She can go over to deny it, but with Aljo holding out, I don't think that's going to be the case here. And now with the grids holding off, we will have one over by the barricade, looking to take a pick onto Gridlock here. However, we will see Aljo take one, take two, get both Rixie and Moritz perfectly timing out that aggressive peeks onto the window. However, we'll see Froscos take one, but get refragged in the process. It's now all up to Scripps, do or die, but he is unsuccessful. And that is going to be good game in favor of E-Wave.
Wow, I mean, what a dominant fashion this has been from E-Wave onto the attack. I mean, quite surprisingly for me, E-Wave has been running away with this game quite comfortably after getting not destroyed, but after getting 4 attacks against them. Something very unusual to see. I mean, GG's to them, I think.
Yeah, and the thing I want to point out is even though Empire really gave them a run for their money in the beginning, bringing them all the way up 2 and 4, but when Empire went on attack, that was a whole different story. I mean, the way that they held those cutoffs, the way that they managed their utility, and how they were able to just sneak in under Empire's nose on multiple occasions, or at least right when they were least expecting, by pretty much doing a shift of focus. You know, you put some presence here and then you get the guys in the other direction to move in. That tactic worked so well for them. And on top of the momentum that they had, being able to just keep going and really put Empire to their knees at the very end. That is exactly what you want in attacking. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Momentum is key if you want to win out attack. Usually it's either you get absolutely no rounds, maybe a few rounds, like some hit or misses here and there. But if you have momentum, that is a whole different story, as we saw there. So well done to E-Wave.
Yeah, but I also have to mention just one thing that E-Wave, they were struggling in recent results, and this was their first game without their kind of call it star player Exa, and with Alio, the new addition, and has been working way better than with him. So maybe that's one factor. Maybe something like new for E-Wave, a new playing style. Maybe the players fit even more. But it's refreshing to see this E-Wave because this has been way better than what they have been showing the past few weeks.
Yeah, a win that they very much needed with their roster changes. But with that being said, we're going to go into intermission real quick, and then we will move on to our final game of the night. And I'll pull that up for you real quick. That is going to be Flawless 7 versus Windows Key. I love that name, Windows Key. That's awesome. But yeah, we'll see you in 5 minutes. We'll be right back. All right, and welcome back. I'm back here with Freddie, and we are on to our final match for the night. This is going to be Flawless 7 versus Windows Key. For our team players on Windows Key, we've got Fod, Tats, Konski, Pizza, Dob, The Eternal, and Peter. And for Flawless 7, we have Hassie, Eoz, Koala, the one pistol guy. Hopefully, you'll see some pistol whips there. That'd be pretty cool. Rupert, Basi, Maddie, and Croat from Flawless 7. So, Freddie, what can we expect from these teams? What can you tell us about them?
Well, I can tell you a bit about both teams. So let's start with actually both teams. Both teams are quite new formed. I think F7 has been around like for now like 1 month, and Windows Key also like around 1 month. To talk about Windows Key, they got one of the most famous players in the community, I would say, with Fodi, who is known for his personality. Let's call it that way. And they're from XP100. That was a team very good, and also played last ESA, got very far, I think, and TM. So they kind of fusioned together, and now they're one good team. And I think they haven't lost one match till this day, as if I can remember correctly. So I'm expecting something from them today. And then we have Flawless 7, which is a German team, a newly formed German team, with also Maxi and Matti, which, as I told you about earlier, they both left E-Wave in the last transfer period and decided to create a new team with Flawless 7. And they also have been really good, and they're very known players. Also, they have some players who actually won ESA 2 times. So with Hachi, who's also playing today. So I'm expecting something out of them today because they have that experience, they have that they have the right core. So I'm definitely expecting something.
Yeah, some heavy hitters for tonight's match. And while we're at it, let's go over the map bans because we've got something different this time around. Well, we're having some technical difficulties again. I apologize for that. But the map we're going to be playing on this time around will not be Chalet. Shocker. We will be on Bank, and that will be Flawless 7 on the defense for that map. Now, Freddie, we've had some changes to the map, and now that it's had some time, plenty of time to settle, what do you think of Bank, and how do you think the teams are going to be playing around those maps? And any specific things we might see for some of the sites, perhaps?
Well, I would say Bank has changed a bit in the way you play it, and also how everything is, but nothing like quite new. I would say it's still the same map and the same spots you used to play, the same strats you used to play. Also coming with the new operators, but the core of Bank has always been the same. So I don't expect anything more different in that regard.
Yeah.
But we with F7 we have a very interesting team because they're not quite strat related, more gunfight related and more team play related. And with Windows Keys, it's kind of a mix between them. They have strats and very good strats indeed, and also they got that firepower. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play it this time because they start an attack and Flow 7 in defense. So I'm gonna be interested in see how aggressive F7 is gonna start this match because that's what I'm expecting out of them to be very aggressive from the beginning. Yeah.
And the thing I want to point out is if what you say is true and Flawless 7 is going to be playing, a bit more gunfight, aggressive oriented, I think they might have a unique edge when it comes to attacking. And the reason I say that is Bank is one of those maps where it is like infamously hard to get onto site without some kind of, I would say, or what I would call rogue aggression, which is, got your back turned for half a second or you're in cover and you go back out and all of a sudden there's like two attackers in your face on site. You know what I mean? Like you try to get that timing just right and then flood your way in because some of those choke points, even with proper setup, can be brutal on any of the sites. It can be really hard. So you kind of have to go in with some kind of explosive force. You can't really weasel your way in unless you just have it absolutely open the heck up and your crossfires are really tight. So if that's the case, I think we might see Flawless 7 in a potentially favorable position for those final executions. However, if Windows Key really has those strats down and just outright denies their setup, I don't care how good your ability to push through it in or push through is, you're not getting anywhere, especially for second floor. Because some of those long range lineups are so difficult to push through. So honestly, there's no telling who's going to be the victor in this match, but I will say that Flawless 7 could potentially have a unique edge there if they are able to pull that off. But looks like both teams are going to be ready soon, so we're going to be heading into the match now on Bank.
Well, there we go into the last match of the day. But I also agree with you. I think F7 has the edge here. I think it's going to be a close game, probably like a 7-5 in favor of 7. That's what I would. That's what I would predict at least.
Yeah, and I think that is pretty reasonable since we got two heavy hitters here in our matchup. So I think they'll Flawless 7 will win it out, but it isn't going to be without one very tough fight. It's by no means is this match going to be a given here.
Well, for sure it's not. For sure, it's not. But I also like to mention one thing that the pistol is playing, which he has not been on the main roster and he hasn't quite played much officials so far. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna play with him. But coming into the bans, we see a Dukebi ban, which well
Hmm.
completes the day in operators that are not usually banned being banned.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, if as far as defense goes, that can make a lot of sense. If they're going to be focusing on forcing gunfights, the last thing that you want is to have the Kebi ringing you out and then have someone kind of sneak up on you. Personally, if I was, uh, Windows key here, I probably would have kept the knock just to kind of, keep that looming presence to kind of curb their aggression and curb their flank potential, but that's just me. However, I do think the Solus was a really good ban, trying to, mitigate how aggressive that Flawless 7 is. And I think that's what Windows Key is trying to do here is keep as little information for Flawless 7 and as much information as possible for Windows Key. But we're going to see in return a ban for Valkyrie. What do you think? I think this is going to be a war intel and attrition when it comes to forcing gunfights.
Well, yeah, I mean we see the Valkyrie ban, nothing like being favorably banned in bank. But also is pretty normal. And like you already mentioned it, I'm still expecting the same out of F7 to be honest. They're gonna start on the locker side. Yeah.
All right. It's going to be starting off on basement, which is actually the perfect site to start, if you ask me, because, like I said, we're going to be able to see definitively whether or not that's going to be the case of how Flawless 7 will try to force their way in and how these strats for uh, I'm drawing a blank. Windows key is going to hold out, but for attack, we're going to have to wait on that as we're on defense now for Flawless 7. But still, regardless, I do want to see how uh, Windows key approaches that problem of how do you make that final stretch onto site. But with the current compositions that we have right now, I don't think their utility is going to help them too much. Although FOD does have smokes, we have Konski with flashes, Pizza with nades. That secondary utility could actually do a lot of the heavy lifting and creating that slight period of chaos and disorder and repositioning where they are able to get in. We're going to see that fast take onto top square, but we already have Mixie on the way, but going to be rotating down from top stairs, going down through main stairs. However, Hassie with the oh my gosh, was that a pre-placed? I think it was a pre-place from Hassie. Already getting an early pick onto the Eternal. A huge loss of intel there for the attackers there for Windows Key. That's going to make things a lot more difficult in dealing with lurkers. I mean, you still have Maddie, you have Mixie still holding by open area, main stairs. You've got a lot of first floor presence that can cause some serious chaos. But however, I don't think Windows Key is too happy getting that vert, trying to move up onto second floor. And there it is. Fod going to be able to get picked onto Maddie. However, not without Tats taking a lot of damage there. Still alive though, but it's going to make that entry a little bit more punishing later on in the round. So far, I'm going to see Mixie still over by Dining, going to try to possibly wait for them to push down onto first floor and punish them. We do have one over in first stairs. If Fod has her back turned, this could be a disastrous situation if the timing's just right for Hassie. However, we're going to still hold by blue stairs. Drone going to spot him. The peek comes out. Actually able to take one before Fod gets the pick. Wow. Such a quick shot from both. Still able to take one despite immediately getting sniped off by Tats. Or I'm sorry, from Fod. Now down to a 3v diffuser outside. Going to take a little bit of time before they can push up. That Goyo now going down. Hassie still holding by blue stairs. But with the hatch open, they can go for a drop down and a push through main stairs. Drone's going to spot Hassie here. They know that he's holding by blue stairs, but I don't think they spotted the ADSs. So if Pizza invests all of his nades onto that blue stairs, that could be massive trouble. However, instead, which I think is a smart move, back off onto blue stairs and hold on to those nades to help displace the defenders onto their execute. 30 seconds remaining. We're going to see Tats actually rotate through Garage, try to catch Batshi here, which, if that works, could pay off, but she is playing smart, keeping an eye out for that potential rotate. 17 seconds left. One pistol guy going to pick off Pizza before he's able to do his damage with nades. 13 seconds remaining. Tats is going to have to run in, but I don't think Betsy knows he's there. However, going to be able to get some damage off, going for the peak, try to finish him off. Both taking heavy damage here, but Tats is still alive. Finally going to be able to get one the pistol guy. Going to have to get the plant down. However, Tats is going to get taken down, and now the swing onto Fod. Trying to get a knife, but he picks up, and that is going to be the round as there is no cover for Fod to get the plant down. Ran out of time.
Ran out of time indeed, and what a first round this has been from a 7. I called it the early aggression coming in from a 7. Hachi finding the first frag with the Nitro Soul actually there onto, I think it was Eternal, onto Diana. But really nicely played. I mean, I don't know if you can actually see it down from blue stairs if somebody really entries onto the skylight door there, but I'm sure he did. And starting off the round like that is really good. But also, I have to mention, I think it was Maxi getting the Hibana in the outside open area window with that little flake there. Also really, really nice. And well, it's the first round for 7. They're going up to the executive office side now.
Yeah, great shots from both of those players at that point all around. That was in such rapid succession. I mean, PC, that would have been a different story, but I mean, I'm telling you what, console players have really evolved in their shots, and it's quite impressive to see both of those teams really getting their own piece of impact. But ultimately, I mean, it just comes down to time. I did like what Tass was trying to do with the rotate there, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately, with how little time they had and how they were kind of displaced, especially losing Pizza. Very unfortunate.
Well, yeah, you mentioned it. Controller isn't actually that bad, and you can actually pull off some really nice shots here.
Oh yeah, now, it's nothing like when I first tried controller. I was awful.
I mean, everybody was when it started, but you know, controller always being compared to PC like very slow and not very like fast. But there are many players who can actually flick the sticks so fast that it makes it look really fast and very competitive. But Maxi down there in the server room.
Oh, that drone spotting the pulse there.
He will engage.
We'll see it down from Fod though, but Tats and Mixie duking it out. Mixie gonna take some heavy damage here. We're gonna see a little bit of quick peeks going around, but nobody down quite yet. However, Mixie in a bad situation on very low HP with Tats having plenty of HP here. If I were me, I would take this swing immediately. However, the drone is going to spot Mixie as he goes and rotates out, and that is going to give Tats that full control basement. However, we will see a wall bang to take Mixie out as he tries to rotate out the very last second. That little bit of extra aggression to try to hold her off did not pay off at all. We've got Hashi all the way in archives trying to deny that bottom square push. But that drone's going to be coming in. Oh, but it's going to go up the stairs. Doesn't clear archives. I don't think they know Hashi is there. However, Tats still holding as if there is. There's a drone. Going to spot Frost there. Now stuck in a corner. She's going to have to make her way out. Rotating back out through the tellers on first floor. I can't remember the site name. They spot out that shield. Trying to go for a bit of pre-firing. Try to push Matty out here. He is in a bit of a pinch here. However, they can get some aggression off the top square. That could alleviate that situation, but they are very much pinched. There comes a push from Hashi. Going to be able to take Konski out. However, the refrag in turn from Tats onto top square. They're going to have the full top square control now. Maddie going to be holding out where Betsy gets the Eternal down. They have top square, but at what cost with a 2v2 and still kind of funneled here. This is where I was talking about, where they have to find a way to push out. But with the utility they have, it's going to be a little bit tricky, although Sophia still has her concussions. Going to have to grab the fuser with 14 seconds left. Going to crouch out, force his way in. Some shots coming out, trying to go for the plant, but despite there being a lineup on him, taking some serious damage. But the plant is still going to go down. It's not going to get canceled at the last second. Now all up to Pizza to force her way over, but it's not going to be able to, as the opening is too long. Not going to be able to make it here.
Well, very close round indeed in the end there. And I thought that Beiji couldn't quite get the kill onto the planter, but somehow he still managed to do it. I think he whiffed his shots at first, but finding the kill, they're getting that 2-0 lead now for F7. And after that round start, I would actually say it's kind of disappointing for Windows Key not getting that first round on the board here.
Yeah, that played out
But also,
pretty
let me
well for
just
them.
introduce you to something. It's by the way Hachi and Maxi. They're called like Maxi and Hachi. Just for you for your info.
Ah, appreciate it. The name slander will never end from me, but hopefully that will be a little bit of less slander that we have to deal with there. Appreciate everyone letting me know. I will never be afraid to admit that my name pronunciations are not the best. So, what was it, Hachi and Maxi?
And Beichi.
And Beichi. Oh, okay, gotcha.
I know it's kind of confusing at first. I struggled too at the beginning, but after time you get used to it.
Yeah, we Americans have a way of Americanizing names in a pretty bad way. But anywho, back on with the show here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be seeing a bit of a top push from Konski here. A lot of an anchor-heavy presence from one Pistol Guy and from from Betchy here. That's going to be making their way over from Jander, trying to sneak their way in. Few shots, but nothing really so far. However, Tats does have potentially a unique opportunity to just walk into sight here with where everyone is positioned so far. If she walks in, this could be a dangerous situation, but we will see a pick onto Hachi. Hachi now off so early on. Gonna make things a little bit trickier now that she's off the board.
Maxi just gets a quad kill out of that trading room. How did that happen? It just taps on the winner. Maxi with the ace. That is an insane play from him. Hitting his shots, and what kind of shots they were. Holy moly.
My gosh, what a shot down. I mean, we saw one pick onto Flawless 7, and then it just went absolutely downward for Windows Key there with how fast they just outright denied that aggression there, shut it down all the way, taking picks back to back, not even giving them a chance.
I mean, it looked so good at the beginning. Pizza got the opening and nearly got the second kill onto the office player there, but Maxi just completely goes crazy and gets 4 kills into the stock trading area. How the hell did that happen?
Oh yeah, Maxi really put in the work for that round, single-handedly shutting everything down. But I mean, hey, when you got your back turned or you're just in the wrong position at the wrong time, that's when you see those kind of shots happen. And boy, did Maxi just take them all. Almost getting the ace. Now we're going to be moving back onto basement. Remember, Flawless 7 held this very well. And I don't think this is going to be any different from what we have seen so far with the way that they held it. But keep in mind that that round was a little bit, well, I wouldn't say a little bit close, considering that they had one person left to plant and Tats was kind of stuck on the rotate. But hey, things like that happen. Things don't always go according to plan. But with that being said, we're going to see a bit of a split push here from Windows Key as we currently have Pizza all the way down in waiting room by himself. We're going to see an initial pick from Maxi, still going absolutely ballistic. He's not done yet. However, we will see Eternal getting taken out as well by Maxi, or Fod, I'm sorry. Now down already to a 5v3. Maxi is on an absolute killing spree, and he is showing no signs of stopping. Oh, but gets shut down by Pizza. Slowly walking his way up. Hachi able to get Konski down as well. Now down to a 4v2 with a minute and a half remaining. Scan coming out, and we will see a timeout request in the jump from Pizza. I guess a pizza wants a slice of the action himself. Pun intended, not sorry. But anywho, still with a bit of time, not much for setup remaining as their hard breacher Konski is now down and out. They're gonna have to try to find a way to force a way in. However, with Hatchie still holding blue stairs, this could be potentially dangerous here. And there it is, Hatchie with the shotgun hit onto Tats. Now down to Pizza. If I were him, I wouldn't push that, but he's gonna go for the flash, but the shotgun peek before it goes off and gets caught by the ADS. Oh man, the ADS just set him up for failure, but even then, he was so fast on the swing. Well done, Hatchie, on holding the blue, and that is gonna be another round for Flawless 7 as we go into timeout.
Well, I mean, it's been a very dominant game from F7 here, not just the individual showing up, but also, I mean, the lack of droner coming in from Windows Key. I mean, we saw with like the Mozzie could play in CEO and not being droned. Ford has no idea that he's close to the windows. That should never happen in those attacks. And I mean, aim-wise, F7 is just way more sharper here today than Windows Key. I mean, they have two donuts right now. They have two people going 0-4. That's not the way you can win games. And I mean, I think they need this timeout to really calm down and just get the game plan out again and try to get the half recover with 2 rounds at least.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of sucks for Windows Key right now. Is F7 has such a high momentum, especially after those last 2 rounds, and the way that they cleared or took so many eliminations in such a short amount of time. They kind of are forced to get a timeout, but not to try to reset that momentum, but really because they don't have a choice except to try to get themselves back in order. So even with this reset, it still might not be enough. F7 may still be able to hold their momentum, and with the way they've been playing so far, that's very likely to be the case with how they've held out the defense. The closest rounds have been towards the beginning, and it's just kind of been a downside ever since. And I want to make a point to what you said to the droning, because that was really important. They even threw out a drone onto blue stairs, and they still didn't get out information about Hatchie, who did that before, holding the shotgun onto blue stairs, and also didn't spot the ADSs. That just was a recipe for disaster, as you so correctly pointed out.
Yeah, I mean, but also I don't think they should even engage at blue stairs. They should just go for a lobby drop or
Absolutely
something.
not.
Maybe change up the game plan here, because it's
Agreed.
really so difficult to engage with a shotgun player onto the blue stairs. There, you need so many utility and you need everything. And I mean, when you lose half the team already after getting to the blue stairs, then I have bad news for you. It's not gonna work.
No, that is like one of the hardest angles to hold, especially when dealing with a shotgun. That's what makes it so powerful. You have to have a proper response utility-wise. Otherwise, you're just gonna get stomped. And that's exactly what we saw there. Gonna see more of that second floor action, which I absolutely love to see, because there's always so many unique takes on how to handle second floor here. But despite that, we're gonna see Hatchie taking FOD out already early on. Pizza going to take some heavy damage as well. Hatchie going to be able to get out scot-free despite that exchange. Are we going to see possibly another pick here onto Pizza here? I don't know, but so far still alive despite that initial pick, unable to get the refrag, unfortunately. The rappel can be a bit of an awkward position. 1 minute and 45 seconds, and they're still holding comfortably, anchoring, but they're losing a lot of that outside presence. Or I'm sorry, not the outside presence.
And it's Maxi with the...
Oh!
Oh, no.
Okay.
Maxi with the run-out, getting double kill, and Matti finishing off onto the ace. And I mean...
Holy...
I told you F7 is going to play really aggressive on this map, but even for me, it's actually quite more surprising that they actually be this aggressive. And you see Windows Key, they don't have any answers to the playstyle F7 is playing here. They have no idea how to play against it.
Yeah, I mean, they had pretty much no outside control. I couldn't even finish my thoughts before Matchy pretty much finished that out. I mean, they pretty much destroyed top square. didn't even get beyond that point. Didn't even really have to have a roam. They just peeked out and everybody was just gone before the blink of an eye. And now we're looking at 5-0. We're potentially looking at a 7-0 sweep here, a perfect game for F7 as that timeout did not show any signs of stopping. If anything, well, I wouldn't say it made them even better, but yeah, they pretty much Windows Key needed that reset and they just could not get it. F7 really shutting down any hope for that timeout, giving them what they were looking for. And now they're in a lot of trouble. Windows Key needs this round as a buffer for defense because who knows how that's going to go. Because at this rate, if they go in 6-0, even the slightest slip up can mean not just a round, but the entire game. So we'll see if they can figure something out. Because so far, what we have just seen is a lot of information gaps, a lot of peaks just causing a lot of issues. However, we are going to see that deployable shield go down, which is going to be huge for helping with that push into market.
Now we're gonna see the shield being exploded by the forest. Nice play there, Maxi. Last time in this position he got 5 kills, so gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna play this year. And you see this aggressive peek from Maxi, opening the wall with the impact and finding the ace of VOD. Finally getting shut down by Eternal, but still, again, that's the hard breacher down at the beginning of the round. And Hachi finding an X kill onto Eternal. 4v3 now, and this is just getting... They're getting slaughtered here. I don't know what to say, to be honest. It's just no Konski with no info trying to peek the CEO office here. Bucking himself out. Hachi finding an next kill. Floor running into Scala without info. That's pizza down. And it just that's in a 1v4 situation. Getting flanked from Hachi. Getting his 4k, and I mean, I don't know what to say, to be honest, because this isn't a competitive, this is casual.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they are absolutely killing it right now. But like I said, Windows Key, they're making those same mistakes that are costing them so heavily. Like, even when they get information, right? We've seen before when Hachi was playing Frost in Archives, they will know where the enemy is and still not have accountability, which allows F7 to just creep up for free and get so much impact. We even saw that with Warden peeking out into market. This lack of intel and positional accountability is costing Windows Key so much and losing so much grounds when they don't need to. They really have to get this under control. But now for defense, which honestly is going to be even more important because the room for error is now 0. I hope they're cooking something special because they have not been successful so far. And with VOD on the Cav, I'm assuming their mental is on the side of we've got nothing to lose. We just got to do something dramatic. And dramatic it's going to have to be because with these positional and intel gaps, they are not doing well with or in responding to that problem. They have not made the proper adaptations. So hopefully we can see an improvement here because as much as I do enjoy watching a sweep, it's not always the greatest thing, especially when it comes to standing. That can pretty much, if depending on how tight competition is for the other teams, that can pretty much put you out of qualifying for eliminations, or at least put you in a tough bracket position. All right, here comes FOD. Trying to find one here, going to be taking those stealth steps. But let's see if F7 has the ability to properly clear out and get that information, especially with the Jackal. That could be trouble. Here comes the peek down the stairs. We're going to see the down and Hashi eliminated. That could have been an interrogation. However, the problem is now that they have that information that FOD is playing Cav. So they're going to be a lot more careful with individuals pushing on their own, like Maxi, who is doing the same thing, which could potentially be disastrous if they're not careful. We're going to see that one flash go out. FOD's going to be holding blue stairs. It's that same shotgun angle. One ADS out, but still up. They got Betchy and they have Matchy still holding out. Warden going to be falling off down. They have that first floor control, but it's going to be the push to basement, which is going to make a break here. Cav holding really passive. Fod holding on to her life to deny that blue stairs push. Looks like they're going to be opting for a possible vault room and main stairs push, what I think is the right call with the current positioning that they're dealing with right now. However, with the Eternal holding vault and we have Konski holding by garage, this could be a potentially difficult situation for them to navigate.
Well, let's see if they're gonna do the same mistake that Windows Key do. It looks like they're gonna rotate to the back side here and not engage that blue stairs with their shotgun, which would be the smart choice here. They have all the hatches open. Just need Dromberg to come in now and clear these positions.
All right, Flash is coming down. Yep, Ibana getting ready to crash on down. There comes a drop. Is Eternal going to be ready for the swing? Matchy going to be able to take out Konski. There comes the peek. However, getting taken out by Volt. That's going to be thanks to Fod. Now down to a 2v4. Maxi taking some heavy damage, but Eternal going to be able to catch Betchy before being able to get that utility out. Maxi in a bad spot in the corner here. Going to be able to catch one, but the refrag from Fod over by Vault entrance. Going to be able to give the first round for Windows Key. Still got a long ways to go.
They indeed do, and I mean, finally they're showing up and winning their first round, but it's gonna be the basement side, which, well, was the easiest side to win. Now they have to go to CEO, and I don't see many hopes for Windows Key here, but maybe they can show up a little more, and as Orion mentioned it, get the round difference a bit to make it not that worse, to win some rounds at least, and that could have an impact in the future. If they have the same points as different teams, the round difference is going to be important, and you don't want to have a 7-0 in your first match.
Yeah, and while I do agree with what you're saying, let me provide you a counter, though. I want you to keep in mind how F7 has been playing here with their aggressive play style. And remember how I mentioned that their main advantage is going to be getting those aggressive pushes into execution. However, the problem is that they're not even getting to that point where they can do that thanks to Windows Key's setup and outright denial of getting any site presence in executing. That is an important key here. If they are able to continue doing that, they could have a very strong chance of going into overtime. But they're going to have to keep that up. If they allow them to force gunfights in their favor, that, like how Tats peaked that and only got a bit of chip damage, they could be looking at a loss very soon. They need to hold their positions, their setups, and not push outside of that excessively, because they've shown when they stick to their setup, F7 struggles to even get the opportunity to go for an execute. And that is going to be very important, as we're going to see soon.
Indeed. Good analysis from you. I just have to mention, as I already saw it, Konski doing the James Bond theme here, going 0-7. I hope really for him he can get away with it and maybe get one kill or even drop 0-8. That would be less shameful at least. But
yeah,
many players on the roof here for E-Wave.
Yeah, that was good. But hey, so far we haven't seen anyone picked off yet, so still very winnable for Windows Key, holding on to their positions, not getting pushed out too far so far. No forced fights yet. We do have one holding close to Matchy. That's going to be Fod trying to get a pick here. Going to run out. Going to be able to take Matchy out. Runoff paying off. However, here comes Maxi. Going to have to take a fight here. She knows she's in trouble, but is not going to be able to get out of it. Fod may have gotten that pick, but it costed her life with Maxi clearing that out. Now with the diffuser back in hand. 1 minute, 20 seconds. They have top square control, but with Konski holding them off, they're going to have to find a way to push them out. No main stairs presence, really. So Eternal sitting comfortably at the moment. They're going to have to make another move in with a minute remaining. These crossfires could cost F7 yet another round if they're not able to get their way in. However, here comes Betchy with that Talon shield. Going to be able to get a little bit more presence. The impact breaking that shield. Going to get ready to breach that wall. Tat's going to be able to take Hatchy. Konski getting the one pistol guy. However, here comes Betchy slapping back with 2 picks. Tats and Konski down. Now up to a 1v2. Gonna be getting picked both ways. One from elevator. Gonna be picking that main door. Is able to get the pick onto main door. Is gonna be able to get office. Only down to one person over by, but the pre-fire onto the headshot from the Eternal. Gonna be able to shut down Betchy, giving them yet a bit of more hope. This is what I'm talking about. When Windows Key plays off their utility, plays their strats to the T, this is what will win them the game, or at least give them that chance. Because ever since they switched, F7 has not been able to get a single round. They did get a lot of impact when they went for that XQ and when we saw that push in, but it was too little too late. With the disadvantage, with the setup, with the Azami covering Wamai from CEO, Warden from CEO, fate was already sealed. It didn't matter. But tell me, Freddie, I mean, what do you think? Do you think there's still potential for Windows Key, or do you still think F7 is going to be able to hold out and cut Windows Key off?
Well, I mean, it's going to be four more rounds that they have to win. I mean, it's going to be really hard. I mean, if everybody shows up now for Windows Keys, I think they can do it, but I mean, it's going to be so hard. But finally, Konski at least woke up, getting 2 kills to win that round. But I have to also mention that F7, they played, I think, last week against E-Wave, and they also were up 6-1, and they ended up getting to overtime. So it's kind of, I think, a bit of the struggle to close out that game in the end. So maybe Windows Key can do the same as E-Wave and at least get their overtime, and at least that secures 1 point.
Huh. That's good to know. So yeah, we could very much see an overtime situation if F7 is struggling to pick this out or clean this out. But what do you think we're going to see as far as a first floor execute here from what we're seeing so far?
Well, it looks like going to be a Skylight attack here. Well, pretty basic, just like Windows Key tried to do it. They already have the top floor control with BG. There's no playing against. They don't play the opposites at all. They just fall back. They play archives and rely on that. As you said already, they rely on that onside, on that anchors. Getting those long distance fights here. As already mentioned, they're archives, but already the vertical coming in here from Maxi. So that's a problem when you play this one here.
No, I agree. I mean, they've basically given up the vertical so far, which I hope they have a really strong horizontal denial, because once they get those hatches open and they start dropping, it's going to be a whole different story. And I want to keep in mind as well, everyone, Machi is playing Gridlock, and those Gridlocks make a lot of noise, and that can cover for a drop. So we could see a lot of trouble. We're going to see the Vert already taking impact as the Eternal now goes down. We could see a potential res, but Max is going to be able to catch that, finish the kill, and get Konski at the same time before there's even a chance for a revive. A great play from Maxi here. However, not without Pizza slapping back Machi off the board. Another pick from Hachi to take Tats off the board as well, but Hachi will get fodged. Now down to Pizza, all the way lurking in basement. Gonna have to work his way up from blue stairs, but it's not gonna matter as Hachi's on a roll here, winning out the game for F7, preventing Windows Key from having any kind of comeback into overtime. May have happened last time, but it's not gonna happen today, folks.
Certainly not gonna happen. I mean, what a strong showing from F7. Yeah, I mean, you have to give credit to them for actually showing up this strong. But also, I think Windows Key, they had really no answers to that aggressive style. And I already mentioned at the beginning, it's the way they play, and you have to have a game plan to counter that even. And there was no game plan for Windows Key. I think the first 2 rounds were a bit competitive because they actually made simple mistakes, but they could have been fixed. But instead, they made the same mistakes over and over and over again, and you can't win rounds like that. That's the problem.
Yeah, the way that they handled their attack, they just really had to, clean that up, and they just weren't able to get it. What really kind of set it in for me was the fact that they used the timeout to kind of get themselves together because of the heavy steamroll F7 had, and they still were not able to fix the fundamental issues that was costing them rounds, which was those intel gaps and those positional gaps that allowed F7 to slip through the cracks and get so many picks. and just pretty much destroyed any kind of organization and setup that Windows Key tried to lay out. So, I mean, that's really the downfall, and not being able to fix that sealed their fate. Because I mean, I don't care how good your defense is. Getting 6 rounds in a row is easier said than done. Because all it takes is one mistake, 1 round loss, and it's over. And with how the maps and the metas and the utility have shifted, that is getting 6 rounds defense is way harder than it used to be. It's not as simple as just holding down, anchoring, checking your positions, checking your cams, doing basic stuff. No, you have to get active if you want to prevent some of the setups on some of these sites that can be so detrimental, or preventing someone from flat out walking in when you don't expect it. Like when we almost saw whoever's playing Osu clutch out against Warden in CEO. That's the kind of thing that you need to be trying to mitigate. And unfortunately, Windows Key was just not able to do that, as we saw in that last round. Although they did put up quite the fight when it came to the swap, but still had some ways to go.
Yeah, they have to recover from that game. It's not easy, but they have to, and get that team play. The mistakes are known, they're obvious, and they're easy to fix. So I'm looking forward to Windows Key actually fixing those problems and coming back stronger. Yeah,
absolutely.
But this has been a good day, at least from the level we saw today, at least. I think
I
we can
wish
do
them the best
a
of luck
little
in getting
recap
that.
here.
Yeah, of course. Let's do a bit of a recap. We've seen 3 games today. We had Evo 5 Esports versus Aspire by EOS. E-Wave Esports versus Empire Gaming, with E-Wave taking that win, and Flawless 7 versus Windows Key, with Flawless 7 taking that win. But we did see a lot of Chalet play. And before we go, let's take a look at some of the standings now that we've got this matchup completed. So far, we're going to see Aspire by EO5 at the going to be at the top with 6 points with, EO6 with Evo 5 at 0 points alongside Empire Gaming. So they're going to have some catching up to do for the upcoming weeks to follow. And with that, Freddie, do we got anything more for tonight? Or do you think it's high time that we sign off?
Well, I think it's time for me to head to bed. It's been a long night. Let's put it that way. So good games, and I was happy to have been casting again, and especially with you. I felt very comfortable. Thank you for being here, and hope everyone has a great night.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and we'll see you guys next time on Wednesday at the same time. So stay tuned for that for our next matchup. Thank you, everyone. This has been Piercing DN and Jerry signing off. Take care. We'll see you next time.